This is Balanced, a holistic lifestyle podcast for millennials that focuses on mastering mind, body, and soul. I'm your host, Jebu Vive, a Jamaican mother, wife, educator, and motivator. Follow me as we dive into all of life's compartments on my journey to striking the balance. What a guan, beautiful people! I'm super proud that you decided to join me for another episode. This journey to getting started has been a trying one, but trust me, it has also been truly fulfilling. If you're new to this podcast, I'm your sage, Jebu V. Thank you so much for tuning in. This podcast is all about getting to know each other and ourselves better. So, today, we'll be looking into self-discovery, loving ourselves through the chaos. We'll be talking about finding you and your happiness without being dependent on or allowing outside factors to dictate or decide. If you've missed our Icebreaker episode 1, It Did Body See, you can check it out on my channel, youtube.com/JebuVive. Welcome to the Balanced family. Let's get cracking. Have you ever thought to yourself, why can't I look in the mirror and accept who is staring back, flaws and all? Or ask yourself some what-if questions like, what if I was confident in my strengths and aware of my shortcomings, so much so I was satisfied with myself? What if I took the time to present myself whole, healed, level-headed, knowing exactly what I want, need, and was willing to sacrifice? I'd be so powerful. Well, newsflash, Beauts, you can be. So, the thoughts that I just mentioned, if you are asking yourself these things, if you are thinking these things, do give yourself a pat on the shoulder because you are on track, Beauts. It means you're in that first phase of acknowledging that there is something that you need to work on. There are areas you've identified that you'd like to make better. So give yourself a well-deserved standing ovation, Femino. Thank you very much. I cannot tell you how many times in my life I was at a point where I looked in the mirror and felt sick by the person looking back. There was very little I liked about myself. There was so much I felt the need to change. But let me tell you this. I soon realized that maybe these aspects of myself that I considered to be defects weren't really defects at all. And maybe, just maybe, it was my perspective that needed some altering. I found I was trying to small up myself to perfectly fit into every other external element I had encountered, and I was completely confused. I found myself being tossed between who I thought I was supposed to be versus who I knew myself to be. If you've ever found yourself adjusting for someone else's sake, we have a name for it. It's called people pleasing. Let me say it slowly. People pleasing. Yeah. Coming up, I'll get straightforward about how I stopped trying to adjust to people. We'll be right back. Small up myself. It's what we say when you voluntarily put yourself in an uncomfortable position, making yourself seem less than your whole beautiful self to accommodate another person, their views, their values, etc. Thank you so much for staying with me, beautiful people. Welcome back. Now let me say this before I even go any further. Beauts, we aren't perfect by any definition. And with that fact, no matter what it is we attempt to do or how good we are at something, we simply can't please everyone. We are, however, perfectly imperfect, and only a few will appreciate your signature flavor. Not everyone has superb taste, so let's pity them and take comfort in that fact, right? Remember those what-if questions I mentioned earlier? Well, beautiful people, it was never supposed to be a question of what if. If this, if that, if If child, God didn't make you iffy. A part of me knew I deserved to look myself in the eyes and be completely comfortable with who was staring back. I knew I needed to love myself to the fullest of my capabilities if I expected other people to. I needed to give myself what I was asking for in order to get it, whatever that it was, from anywhere else, not the other way around. See, I was trying to mold myself and conform to what I thought all these different people expected of me. I thought I needed to bend to the whim of what society was dictating in order to be happy. But then it hit me, or mantra this season hit me like a backhanded slap to the face. Atisi, and this is what it is. Repeat after me. I am in full control of me. I dictate my life. I am in charge of my own happiness. The main difference between the me then and me now can be summed up into one word. Can you guess? Don't. Let me tell you. Stop it. It's growth. I made it my goal to find and face whatever I felt was holding me back, whatever was controlling me and causing me to think negatively. Point blank. Period, Pooh. I became so determined to get better at loving myself and being happy with myself. It became a ritual. Okay. Okay, stop it. Stop it right there. I know exactly what you guys are thinking, and it's nothing hocus pocus. Yet, it took me a while to get into the swing of things. Every day, I do a little self-check activity. What is that? What is this self-check situation that you speak of? Okay, listen, Beauts. I would just sit quietly and run a recap of my day in my head. It sounds pretty simple, right? That's because it is. What I do is, I'd lay my day against my goals, tangible or not, and I'd assess whether I got it done or not. I got to see if I improved, and this was one of the best things that I could take away. For instance, if my goal for the day is to be a little kinder or a little less reactive, I check to see how well I handled the situations that called for me to be kinder or a little less reactive on that particular day. Yeah. And in the morning, I'd run another diagnostic because, hey, listen, we all have to be our own doctors at some point, right? Yes. See, with this check, I'd see how light I felt, how well I slept. This check is what I called my happy check. Yeah, it sounds a tad bit berserk, I know. But it's totally normal to do a happy check, Beauts. Maybe not necessarily twice a day like moi, because I'm all kinds of extra. But I strongly believe regularly checking in on your mental and emotional well-being is healthy. Just like you would get a physical checkup, you need to know how well your insides are doing, right? Well, it doesn't end at the physical. Drop a comment somewhere, on TikTok or on Twitter, if you've ever felt a weight on you while climbing out of bed, only to have your day go sour like you woke up on the wrong side. Because here, Beauts, listen, let me tell you about that heavy life. If you're experiencing this, I recommend that you try at least one of these checks or simply run your own. When you do, preferably write it down so you can literally see what you're working towards. And listen, don't be hesitant or lazy to do it daily if you have to, because this has been the most beneficial kind of mental checkup for me to date. So, find me on TikTok or on Twitter at JebuVVT, that's JEBUVVT, and let me know how it's really going. Let's have that conversation. If you're just tuning into our podcast, big up your clean self. If you've missed the memo from our last episode, here's a quick reminder. Hold on energies refers to any negative thought or feeling that is stopping you from being your best self. All right? So now that we're up to speed, follow me. The more I performed my self-checks, the more I unearthed the best version of myself. I was already better than the version of myself roaming around in my head, spewing the negative gunk, aka hold on energies. See, I needed to shift my perspective to see myself for all of my bombshell glory. We all have that mental pest. You know, that version of yourself you can't stand and you end up fighting with them all the time? Yeah, that pest. That pest can be so loud. Not true. Yeah, I'm not trying to negate the fact that it's hard to mute or negative hold on energies. It can be difficult. So, what so many of us revert to doing is finding excuses, aka buts, as to why we aren't happy. In truth, it was never about the what ifs, remember? It was the buts. The but is a problem. Too many people are out here walking around boasting some heavy buts, and I'm not even sure they know it. What I mean by that is, we find reasons for waiting, or we pay attention to our so-called deficits. Some people actually replace the buts by attaching their happiness to tangible things. We say what we don't have and why we need that one dege particular thing in order to be happy. Some people buy nice things, other people get procedures done to enhance their appearance. Some of us, wow, too many of us, go into relationships hoping that another person will bring some fulfillment to your life. And while all these things may bring some degree of pleasure, we become reliant upon that singular person or object for what we really desire. Now, I hear the person in the back whispering, then what is it we desire? I hear you. But what is it that we truly, really all do desire? Being happy. Yeah, actually being happy. We distract ourselves with substitutes posing as genuine happiness instead of sourcing our happiness within ourselves first. And it's the chaos of it all for me. The need to feel like we are loved and belong, yet we won't take a second to find out that, hey, maybe I got enough for me. Yeah, I have it. Maybe I don't need the fireworks or the added sugar. Maybe, just maybe, I don't need to change who I am to fit in. Maybe I don't need to be their definition or even meet their expectations. Let's talk about it. Majority of the time we get what we want and we still aren't happy. Why? And this is my take on it. I'm blaming that self-same high expectation we hold ourselves to. The idea of being perfect for everyone and great at everything. What about this for thought? And I'm not trying to be morbid or anything, but me I beg you humor me. Now, God forbid, the thing you adore is destroyed. That person changes. Or what if they run out of your lives? What if they take their feet in their hands and run? I think here would be the only place a what if is welcomed. A place where you can realistically scope the possibilities. One of the most awe-inspiring takeaways of this journey for me so far is the fact that I've had to learn to be alone with myself, with my pest. Best believe, I had to sit that pest down. I was like, girl, you need to take it from 100 to -2 right now. And I had to tame her, because only then was I able to listen clearly to my needs and figure out exactly what it is that I wanted. I had to define what happiness was to me and sort through the things that embodied that definition. Getting rid, throwing out, disposing of the things that didn't, no matter what they were. I thought I needed an external force to do it for me, but I didn't. And if I don't, you don't either. My point is, you can be the best version of yourself. CAN, you can. You have to be ready to take some time to sit with you though, and really look into all those things that take away from your blessing. Because if you don't know what they are, you definitely need to find out. You will have to acknowledge that you'll need to do some digging. No, like some serious digging that you have to put into practice like anything else you want to be good at. And you have to shift your perspective to do it. It's not impossible. No, it is not impossible to let your happiness be genuinely yours, not a borrowed product you can lose, get cancelled, or returned. You know, say, I can't head out if I don't serve you beautiful people some food for thought. So go grab some water because Beauts, listen, you need to be refreshed for when we get back. Beauts, this is my favorite part of the show because it is one of the most important pieces to digest. I want you beautiful people, yes, you Beauts, to really marinate with this. I have 2 questions. I've battled with answering these questions for a while, and I definitely had to do some soul searching to find the answers. Psh, we know I'm still searching, but it's not a scratch the surface question, is what I'm saying. So be prepared to dive ocean deep for the answer. Really think about it. You ready? Are you suffocating your happiness because of external elements, or are you buying your happiness with them? I'm going to ask that one again because Beauts in the back didn't hear me. Turn me up there. Turn me up. Okay? Are you suffocating your happiness because of external elements, or are you buying your happiness with them? Okay, that's one. That's a heavy hitter, right? Heavy hitter. Well, this is question 2. Do you know yourself well enough? And if you do you love all of you? Feel free to give me a shout out and let me know how you're doing on your holistic journey. Let me know if there was anything we spoke about today that really stuck out as relatable for you. On that note, we can call this episode a wrap. Thanks for tuning in today, and I hope you enjoyed our chat. Falla Bakami, your blunt bombshell at JebuV on Twitter, Instagram, and on TikTok for more motivational content. Join me next week as we strive to strike the balance. Until then, walk good, beautiful people. Bless. Don't forget to subscribe to Balanced for exclusive content and updates on our weekly uploads.